Hello all, welcome to the other lecture series in environmental science and sustainability. We discuss here the conservation of biodiversity. So what is conservation of biodiversity? Actually, biodiversity means the variety and variability. We know that the biodiversity faces many threats due to climate change, population rise, and increase in pollution, etc. But in this case, the biodiversity conservation is very much important in maintaining our balanced ecosystem. So, in this present discussion, the importance of biodiversity conservation through an in-situ and ex-situ methods, along with the insights gained from the field visits, highlights of effective strategies to preserve our planet ecological diversity shall be discussed. So the importance of biodiversity. The biodiversity has three importance. One is ecological balance, which means biodiversity maintains ecological balance between a clean air, clean water, and clean soil, fertility, etc. And genetic diversity is another important of biodiversity aspect. The rich genetic pool ensures the resilience against the diseases which pertains the environmental changes and sustainable agricultural practices. And the third one is cultural significance, like in cultural significance is the integral part of our livelihood, particularly which inspires and recreates our livelihoods. So there, we know that there are two types of conservation methods. One is an in-situ conservation, and another one is an ex-situ conservation. The in-situ conservation means protecting the species in their natural habitat itself. For example, if an elephant is living inside a forest and we are not taking away the elephant, we are conserving and following and giving protection to the elephant within its own environment, that is, within its own place. That we shall termed as in situ. In situ means within its own territory, within its own place. And protected areas. What are the in situ protected areas defined by us in the is one is a national parks, another one is a reserve forest, which safeguards the critical habitats, and third one is community involvement. So engaging the local communities. See, without the local communities' participation, nothing has to be done. So local communities should understand the need of this biodiversity, because the local community only get into contact with these protected areas and national parks, they will face man-animal conflict. And the fourth one is the restoration ecology. So efforts to restore the ecosystem and enhance the conservations. Then the second one is the ex-situ conservation. What is ex-situ conservation? But is preserving our animals or biodiversities outside the natural environment. That means we are taking the breed and keeping it somewhere else, like our zoos, where zoos in which we can take the animal from the forest, and in the zoo we maintain with all facilities. Likewise, seed banks, gene bank are all the ex-situ conservation methods. So the definition, as a definition, we can say that preserving species outside the natural habitats. Example, genetic bank, the seed bank or gene bank preserve the material for its survival. Breeding programs like capitative breeding programs, increasing the population number of endangered species, education and research facilities which can maintain their gene and seeds. So in this, we can say that there are some positive and negatives. That means advantage and disadvantage of both the in-situ and ex-situ methods. For example, in-situ method, the problem is we have to spend large amount of money over there. But ex-situ, the problem is maintaining the wildlife in a small region will affect its psychology. There are a lot of issues, both the in-situ, ex-situ, but the combined strategy is a good for this. So field visit insights. So what will we should observe as a student? What you should observe in the field visit insights of biodiversity is too. So local biodiversity. The food in the field visit reveals the incredible diversity of the species ecosystem. It highlights its importance and its protection need for protection, health, and reliance. So, what about conservation challenges in the field? We see is that habitat destruction should be conserved, pollution, invasive new species which will target the existing species and demolish it, and the emphasis should be need for the targeted conservation efforts. And the community engagement, as I said, you the community engagement is very very important. Without the involvement of the community, no biodiversity can be preserved in a proper way. So the insights from the field visit shows that how communities can act as a champions for biodiversity protection and the adaptive strategy. So we can adopt many strategies, like as I said, in-situ, ex-situ, and any other strategies we can go. So which should allow the conservationists to adjust their approaches based on the real-world observation outcomes. But all the strategies, a single point is should be engage with the community. So, what are the challenges in biodiversity conservation? So, the first important challenges is the habitat loss. The habitat loss, urbanization, agriculture, and deforestation are the major threats. And climate change is another important threat, where in which pollution is a major source for the climate change, which increases the temperature of the habitat and it makes a lot of species to disturb the species. The invasive species, that is, new invasive non-native species, disturb the local ecosystem, and the pollution is a major factor due to the urbanization and deforestation. The future directions in the conservation is, we can say, policy and legislation. That is, a strong environmental policies and legislation, international agreements is vital for protecting the biodiversity. And innovative conservation techniques, the new innovative conservation technique. Nowadays, we can place a chip over the tigers here and we can follow the tiger in the entire life, what they are doing, where it's going, if any disease or any change, we can observe it. So the embracing technologies and remote sensing, which we use to enhance the conservation strategies, public campaign and collaborative effects are major. So public awareness should be created on how to conserve the biodiversity. And the collaborative effects with the government and NGOs and local communities are also a major factor in understanding the biodiversity conservation. As a personally, I feel public awareness campaign and collaborative efforts are the major one. So in this session, we discussed the importance of biodiversity conservation, in-situ conservation, ex-situ conservation, and what should the fields visit insights to be followed here, and the challenges in the biodiversity conservation and the future directions. As a conclusion, I can say the public awareness and collaborative efforts plays a major role in conserving the biodiversities. Thank you.